What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope all you had a great weekend. Hope all you having a great day so far. Getting into this episode of Days of Our Lives, this episode just confirms why I cannot stand Brady. Like, I just do not like Brady for shit. I just really don't. It's always been something about Brady that annoyed the hell out of me. Now I understand that Philip got himself into this mess by gambling and losing all of his money and laundering money through Titan. It's true, he got himself into this mess. He did, but this is serious though because he's dealing with the mob, and this is dangerous as shit because he can end up dying. These people will kill him. The mafia don't play that. And Chloe offered for Philip to stay hide out at her hotel room and stuff like that because there's no way he can go to Victor's house or anywhere else because now the Vitali family, they're going to be coming after him because he was talking to Angelo Vitali on the phone, and Angelo pretty much hung up in his face. When a mob boss hangs up in your face, that's pretty much the kiss of death. Like, he's pretty much signaling and telling you, I'm coming at you now. So Chloe was like, nah, I'm gonna hide you out in my room. And Brady sitting there, no, no, absolutely not. He's sitting there trying to object and all that. Brady, who the hell do you think you are? That's a grown ass woman. You don't have the authority to say nothing. Shut your mouth. And I'm glad Philip told Chloe about what Brady demanded of him in exchange for help. Basically, he wanted Philip to stay the hell away from Chloe. And I'm glad Chloe stood up for herself and let him know, like, first of all, I'm grown and I can protect myself. I can handle myself. Like, I don't need you, jumping in to play Batman. Like, Brady need to go sit down somewhere. Because I do feel like Brady did it for selfish purpose. Like, him wanting Philip to stay away from Chloe had nothing to do with totally protecting her. It's because he knows that Philip still carries a torch for Chloe and something may go down and she may go back to him. And it's obvious that Brady wants Chloe. That's obvious because there's no way in hell he gonna sit around waiting for Kristen to get out of prison. Not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Um. So anyway, moving on from that, Xander is such an ass. Like, I was having fun with this whole thing. Like, when him and Sarah was snooping around trying to get the dirt on Philip, it was fun for the time, but it's getting serious now. It's getting more serious, and Xander just really does not care. Like, what can happen to Philip? Like, he's just all smiles and happy that he brought Philip down and he gets to keep his little CEO chair. Like, that's what he's happy about. And once Sarah found out that, like, okay, this is getting serious now, the mafia, painted a target on this man back, she was ready to call the police because she was like, there's no way in hell she was gonna have blood on her hands. And I don't blame Sarah. She was like, how can she look her mother in the face knowing that she's responsible or partially responsible for her stepson getting killed? And like I said before, Philip did bring all of this on himself, but as family, they can at least help him. You know what I mean? Like, and I think the biggest thing that they can do to help him, I understand they want to call Rafe and stuff and try to get him some police protection, but I think the best thing that they can do to help that boy is call Victor. Call Victor. Yes, Victor's going to be pissed off at Philip. Yes, he may disown Philip. Who cares? This is life and death at this point right now, and Victor needs to be clued in on what the hell is going on with his son. Because Victor, I think, still has a lot of pull in the mafia world to where he can get this cleared up. You know what I mean? Like, he can handle it. They need to let him know what the hell is going on because Sarah didn't want to tell Rafe all the details as to why Philip needed police protection. But he was like, Rafe pretty much was like, well, without the details, I can't help him. I can't put him in witness protection without details because witness protection, you got to go get funding, you got to get approved, you got to do, it's protocol that you got to follow. He cannot go back to, Abe and, whoever else and be like, yeah, I need funding for Philip and yada, yada, yada to put him in witness protection. They can't do that without proper detail of what the hell's going on and who's involved. You know what I mean? So it's really not much that they can do. Um, But while he was there, though, he did tell Xander, he was like, "Yeah, bro, I'm gonna need you to come down to the station with me. I need to talk to you about a little kidnapping thing." Xander stayed finding himself in the middle of some shit. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Um, that man is forever in the middle of something. So anyway, moving on from that, I felt bad for Allie because she thought she was safe, but her and Nicole were pissed when they found out Charlie made bail. Because Ava, she's not in the right mental state of mind to really be a good witness right now. So they don't really have a witness that can corroborate all of this stuff that's going on. I probably said that wrong, but anyway, they can't back up Ava's claims because she has a screw loose right about now. So it's like they really can't. She's not a strong enough witness, so he may bail. And I feel bad for Allie because she may have to relive that horrible rape. They want her to do hypnosis and stuff, and she was just like, "I'll think about it." I mean, I know it's gonna be hard for her to like relive that, but for the sake of justice, I think she should. Um, because if she really wants justice, she gonna have to do, just muster up the courage and the strength to just go through with this. It's a hard thing for any rape victim to have to relive their rape in their mind and then talk about it. It's hard for them to do. I totally get it. But, you got a sociopath on the loose right now, and the only way to get the bastard is if you know, relive what happened. So that way you can, tell the jury, tell the police, tell them what's going on so they can get them. Um, I also feel bad for her because in the future she's gonna have to have a very difficult conversation with her son. And she was telling Nicole that, like, how does she tell her son how he was conceived, that he was the product of rape? That's never an easy conversation to have. Um, Luckily for her, she has a long time before she has to have that conversation because obviously he's just a child, he's a baby, so she don't really have to tell him tomorrow. You know what I mean? You got years, you got a good long time before you have to tell them. You probably got at least, I would say, 15, 16, maybe 17 years before you got to tell them. So you got a long time. In the soap world, she probably got another 2 years because you know how they age up kids. So she probably got another 2 years in soap world to tell them. But I think she's gonna make it through. She's Lucas and Sammy's daughter, so I'm pretty sure she's Kate's granddaughter. So she's a strong kid. She's strong, so I believe she's gonna be able to muster up the courage to tell her son, what happened and to face Charlie and tell him, and to get him convicted. Um, so anyway, moving on from that, the Charlie and Trip scene, I really love that scene. That was like Mike Manning is doing an amazing job as Charlie. I do believe Charlie's a sociopath, though he's psychotic, but the actor is doing an amazing job, and Trip is doing an amazing job. That scene was intense. Like he just sat right there and denied. You saw so many different emotions out of Charlie in just that one scene. Like that goes to show that boy is crazy. He's a sociopath. You saw hurt. You saw anger. You saw just him being arrogant and nonchalant. He showed all of that in one damn scene. That's fucking amazing that you can do that. And that goes to show he really is nuts to just have all those emotions at one time. Because he was pretty much telling Trip the story about his dad, like how their grandfather hired Charlie's father to help Ava get out of her depression after Trip was taken from her or whatever. And she never really cared about Charlie's father. She never loved Charlie's father. She never cared for Charlie. And Charlie's father would bring him to see her once in a while. And even when he was there to see her, she never cared. All she cared about was Trip. She never gave a damn. And I felt bad for him. Even Charlie felt bad. I mean, even Trip felt bad for Charlie, for his situation. And Trip tried to use that to get him to confess to the cops about what he did. And this boy just would not do it. He was like, nah, I'm not confessing to nothing because I didn't do nothing wrong. That's a sociopath. That you can kidnap, people, you can rape people, and you think you did nothing wrong, you're a sociopath. You're psychotic. You're nuts. And that's exactly what he is. He's psychotic. So Tripp basically warned him. He was like, "You're gonna go down whether you confess to it or not." So after Tripp left, Charlie gets angry. He starts kicking tables over, like he just acts a fool. Then sitting here calling Claire, leaving her a voicemail. I'm like, Charlie, you need therapy. You need to go to prison and you need therapy, deep therapy. Um, Ava, she was of course worried about Tripp because of what Charlie's capable of. You never know what he might do to Tripp. Um, and I know she was even more worried when because she thought that Charlie was still in jail, but Steve was like, "Nah, he made bail." So she was even more worried about their son. Like once she heard that boy made bail, she was ready to get up out that bed. She was like, "Nope, I got to get these off of me." She said, "I got to get the hell up out of here." Like that just goes to show her love for Tripp and her disdain for Charlie. Um, and I do feel bad for the way, even though Charlie's a crazy nutball, I feel bad for the way that Ava treated him. You know what I mean? Like her treating him that way, I believe is the catalyst for who he became, for the type of person he became. It's not an excuse, and I'm not trying to make one for him because his actions are just heinous and he deserves to go to prison. But I'm just trying to kind of make sense of why he is the way he is. And at the same time, you can also argue that you got a lot of people out there who were treated like dog shit by their parents, but they still turned out normal, they still turned out great, which is also true. So it's kind of like 50-50 kind of thing. um and Tripp is not backing down. Tripp is definitely not backing down from this. He's trying to clear his name still, even though most of the people in the town, everybody believes him now. But still, he wants Charlie to go down for this. He wants to get justice not only for himself, but he wants to get justice for Allie, justice for Ava, and I can't say I blame him for that. Because now Steve feels like they got opportunity and motive because Ava pretty much detailed to them how even though Charlie is claiming he was never in London, she was like he's lying because she personally sent him to London to keep an eye on Tripp, so he was definitely in London, and I'm pretty sure there's other ways to prove that he was there: cameras, credit cards, debit card, whatever. There's something electronically there that can prove he was there. Cell phone. There's plenty of ways that they can prove his ass was in London. Um, and Steve is not gonna back down from this case. He won't. But somebody need to do something about this boy because ain't no telling what he's gonna do now that he's out on bail. That's not a good sign. But anyway, that was the whole episode. Hit the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode. I will see y'all all later. Peace.